Hello, welcome to Phil But Flies and to Nelson Airport at the northern end of New Zealand's South Island. We're taking a look at two pre-release products by NZA Simulations today. This Nelson scenery, which is part of their Payware Pro line range, and their Motueka freeware scenery. Both are going to be released on the 1st of July 2021. As the airports are only about 10 minutes apart by air, I thought we'd mix things up a little and do a short flight between them. So we're going to start by having a good look around Nelson, then we'll hop into the Cessna 152 and fly to Motueka so you can have a look at some of the stunning scenery between them, and then we'll finish off by having a nose around Motueka itself after landing. Let's get started. I'm going to say straight off the bat that I have never seen an airport scenery as detailed or as realistic as Nelson. What NZA Simulations have achieved is truly staggering. You saw some of the car park and other landside details during the introduction, and we're now right outside the terminal entrance. Have a look at some of the details you can see as we spin round. Parked cars, obviously, accurate road markings, luggage trolleys, passengers, benches, signage, everything you could possibly want. And just look at the detail in the textures underneath this canopy. We're going to take a quick spin through the terminal now and out to the apron. Once again, just look at the detail. More passengers, staff members, departure and advertising screens that actually change what they're showing, and super crisp textures as far as the eye can see. As you can see, the terminal building looks absolutely incredible from the outside as well, with some fantastic modelling, including of this rather interestingly shaped roof. The control tower is very impressive as well. We have fantastic external texture work, great modelling, and we have a modelled interior as well. The hangars look great from both the inside and the outside, with some static aircraft, as you can see, some great quality texturing, and some really nice transparent glass as well. And something that I used to talk about a lot but have been neglecting in my recent reviews is the fencing, and it really caught my eye here. Very, very nicely done, and I really like the amount of ground clutter as well with these cones stacked up just on the outside of this fence. And talking of ground clutter, there is an abundance of it across the airport, which adds a huge amount of atmosphere to the place. Just look at this scene here. You've got these barriers, you've got members of airport staff at the bottom of the ramp here and dealing with the baggage over here, and a fantastic model of an ATR 72. There are a number of these across the airport, but only one directly outside the terminal. Now I know static aircraft are a little bit of a controversial topic, but I'm going to say it, I'm glad these planes are here, particularly at a regional airport like this. Even if you fly on VATSIM, you're not going to struggle to park, and it just adds so much atmosphere to the place. Now I'm afraid I do have one criticism, and I'm just going to slip it in here and get it out of the way, and that is the ground textures. Now I'm not an expert on scenery development, but I think that what NZA Simulations have done here is deliberately leave the satellite imagery in because it gives you a much more detailed view of what the ground looks like rather than slapping a clean hand-drawn texture over the top of it. The downside of this though is the blurriness. You'll notice particularly around these cracks in the pavement here that the satellite imagery is just quite low resolution and quite blurry. So that is a little bit of a shame. Having said that, you can see that the ground textures look absolutely fantastic from height. I would also say that the ground markings are spot on. They look very nice from any altitude. And it's also true that the planar areas, such as the taxiways, look a lot less blurry from an aircraft cockpit perspective. The grassy areas look very good, and so does the runway. Here's Nelson by night, and as you can see, it looks just beautiful, front and back, inside and out. And the runway and taxiway lighting looks fantastic as well. Here's Nelson in the snow, and it looks really, really good. All of those earlier criticisms about the ground textures, well, they really come into their own in snowy weather, because you get a very believable, uneven smattering of snow over the apron and the taxiways. My only slight criticism is the amount of snow in the middle of the runway here, which you would expect to have been cleared, but I think within the confines of what Microsoft Flight Simulator allows you to do with snow, NZA simulations have done incredibly well. Right, I'm going to give you a quick whiz across the airport from south to north so that you get a bit of an overview of how it all fits together, and then we're going to go flying down to Motueka. So I should say at this point that I have the Orbex New Zealand mesh installed. It's not a requirement for the scenery, but it does make those hills and mountains look slightly better. Here we are at Motueka, and I can honestly say that is one of the prettiest 10-minute flights I've done anywhere in the world. Now, I'm not going to spend quite as long looking around this airport as I did around Nelson, partly because there's just less to see, and partly because it's freeware. So as of the 1st of July, you'll be able to download this and have a look for yourself. Anyway, let's make a start by having a look at this hangar that we parked outside of, this Argus Aviation hangar. Once again, fantastic quality modelling and texturing, and some really nice interior details as well. Some good quality fencing. Some nice details included around the airfield, such as this warehouse here. And at the opposite end of the airfield to where we parked, we have the Nelson Aviation College building here. And once again, they've done a fine job with both the modelling and the texturing. Just look at the detail in this little garden here with the rocks and the planting. It's free. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of detail that NZA put into their freeware sceneries. It really is. Here we have the Skydive Centre. The Nelson Tasman Air Building and Cafe. And various other hangars and outbuildings which are done to an incredibly high standard. As you can see, there are a few static aircraft included, a couple of planes and a helicopter, and this is a fantastic little freeware airport. What have you got to lose? Download it on the 1st of July, have a little fly around. The scenery around here is just gorgeous. But that's not all. If you change the date in your sim to the 21st of November any year, the runway here at Motueka turns into the Motueka Dragway. And what NZA Simulations have done here is they have included 2 cars racing, as well as a stand for spectators. And you may just have noticed there that even the traffic lights work. I mean, how cool is that, honestly, in a freeware scenery? Just incredible. So what's the verdict? Well, we have 2 absolutely fantastic add-on airports here. Nelson is of course the jewel in the crown. It's the most complete, the most atmospheric, and probably the most realistic airport I've ever reviewed. Yes, some of the ground textures are a bit blurry, but the rest of the airport is so good that you really shouldn't let that put you off. In fact, personally, I think you should buy it as soon as it's released. And what of Motueka? Well, that's awesome too, and it's free. So if money's tight, at the very least, download Motueka and come and explore this stunning part of New Zealand. Thank you for watching. Do please like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you again soon here on Filbert Flies. Bye bye.